Welcome to the Stage is Mine podcast. I'm your host, Terrance Hill, presented to you by Double ETV. This week it's my honor and privilege to bring to the program writer, actor, director, and producer Travis Brown. Yeah, we gotta rise up, yo. Go for broke, give everything, better yet give your all. They don't wanna see you win, nevertheless show evolve. Wanna see my demise, you can be in for a surprise. Cause the sun ain't about to set, now it's about to rise. Come hell or high water, we gotta rise up. Despite the storms of life, man, we gotta rise up. Want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Stage is Mine podcast. I'm your host, Terrance Hill, and it's a privilege and honor to have to the program today my brother I haven't seen in a really long time, Travis Brown. He is a producer, writer, director, and an actor. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great, brother. Again, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man, it's a privilege and an honor. So tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
As he said, he introduced me briefly. My name is Travis Brown. Currently in LA, but I'm from Delaware. Been in LA right now for about the last 6 years. Been out here pursuing the film business. Been working as a director a lot lately as a producer, and I also write as well. And I act every now and then. I kind of do like little extra parts and like projects I'm a part of, but mainly a director though, to be honest.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about your passion for filmmaking.
Oh man, film. It's what I love to do, man. To be honest, I mean I love making movies. That's what I do.
Yeah.
So it's just an exciting thing. It's what I live for, to be honest. It's my true passion, and again, that's the reason why I came to LA to pursue that, and I've been blessed thus far to be doing that. So I'm grateful.
How did that develop for you?
To be honest, man, I wasn't one of those ones that had like a dream, like ever since I was a kid that one day I was gonna be a filmmaker. It's something that really developed mainly when I moved to Ohio, and that's why I actually met Terrance at.
Right.
Ohio. We met there, and it was just through a series of events that I became interested. First, I thought I just wanted to kind of like be like a model or something. I started reading this magazine. My roommate, Aaron Smallwood, was my roommate at the time, and he had this GQ magazine. And in this GQ magazine, I saw this article for Barbizon. It's like a modeling agency for those that may not know. And from there, I just developed this passion for like acting and the arts and film. And then it just slowly developed into full blown into what I'm doing now.
Now, how did you get into the business? Because I know a lot of people, they move to LA, they have these dreams. Sometimes it doesn't work for some people. Myself, I'm into the music industry, but a lot of people move to Nashville. They want to break into the music industry. So, what did you do specifically, and how did that kind of crack for you?
Yeah, what I did was I had a strategy when I came to LA because I had no contacts. I only knew like one friend here and like maybe a family member, Amir Howard, who we also met in Ohio. Right. He had already been here, I think probably at that time, probably around 10 to 15 years already, I believe. And he was the only connection I had as far as to the business. But so I knew I would have to develop relationships. So my strategy was I started working on these film sets as a production assistant. And I started out kind of working for free just to kind of network, meet people. And I ended up meeting this producer on my first, I think one of my first feature films I worked on. Ended up meeting him and meeting a lot of other people. And that's kind of was my strategy to kind of break in as a production assistant. Yeah. Kind of work for free on like 2-3 projects. And then with this one particular producer, he just started bumping me up to, I started off, I think, as an associate producer, which is mainly like an assistant producer. Then he bumped me up to co-producer to now where I'm full on producing bigger projects now. So that's kind of how it happened for me.
That's awesome, man. Now your t-shirt, Browntown Studios, tell us about it.
Oh, for sure. Browntown Studios is my production company that I founded in Delaware. Again, that's where I'm from. Kind of launched it. I started out in theater. I started writing these stage plays back east. I did that for maybe like 10 years. I wrote, produced, directed these plays in Browntown Studios was the kind of the production company, the banner that I ran under during that 10-year period.
Yeah.
And now that's my production company where I produce film. I do TV also. I'm a musician as well. So any type of music projects that I'm involved in, it also falls under the Browntown Studios banner. And also, again, I started out in theater, so also any theater project that all falls under the Browntown Studios brand.
That's awesome, man. Now, how did your training in college help you?
I went to Wilmington University, where I'm from in Delaware, and I actually started out in Del Tech. It's like a little community college where I'm from. Again, like I said, when I first started out pursuing movies, I had no idea about anything. So I knew I needed some training. So, I mean, outside of reading books, I enrolled in Del Tech as a communications major. And it was there that it kind of taught me how to edit video. It taught me like the production side of how to do film and video production. So kind of learned there. Then from there, I transferred to Wilmington University as an undergrad in filmmaking, and I learned pretty much the whole aspects from pre-production to production, the post-production, the marketing, distribution, the whole thing while I was in Wilmington U. And I graduated from there in 2012, ended up going to get my master's. I knew I wanted to produce, so I also knew I needed to kind of learn the business side of things as well. So I got my master's in marketing and management, and it kind of taught me how to market films and how to promote, how to distribute sales, like all of those things that were key to me also being a producer.
That's awesome, man. So a lot of people feel like they know what a director is, but when you're producing a film, what exactly are you doing? And then also, how do you navigate for your different projects? Some projects where you're directing, you got to wear that hat, but then at other times when you are producing projects.
Yeah, actually, I'm producing a feature film right now that we're shooting in Knoxville, Tennessee. And a lot of the producing side of the things deals with pretty much finding the money for the project, shopping the project around. As a producer on a lot of the projects I was doing lately, I was also responsible for hiring all the crew, like, you know, the cinematographer, the gaffers, and all the camera department. I was pretty much, as a producer, responsible for getting their contracts wrote up. They call them deal memos. I was one that pretty much got all that, like, legal side of things and the business side of things, like negotiating all their deals. That way, once you get in, by the time you get into production, like all of that, like legal and business side of things is kind of done. When you're wearing both hats, like me, I'm a director as well, and I produce my projects. It's kind of like, as a director, you know, you're kind of more focused on the creative and the ultimate vision of the project.
Right.
But also, you would have to step out of that and deal with, you know, people, make sure people get paid.
Yeah.
On all like the business side of things, you know. So that's more kind of different. The producer is more on the business and technical side.
Okay.
And the director is more on the creative and like the ultimate vision of the project. So there's that difference there for sure.
What's a typical day on set like? I mean, you guys start a lot of times early in the morning, you're shooting all day. What's a typical day for you?
Yeah, usually a typical day on set, you know, you show up 7 a.m., whatever they call it, a call time. You usually get like a call sheet, which is basically a map of the day, you know, what time everybody's supposed to be on set, etc. So you show up, and then you'll usually have a first AD, which is a first assistant director. They'll have a schedule for the whole day, and that schedule is pretty much what they use to make sure things stay on track. You know what I mean? So
Gotcha.
our first AD pretty much like manages making sure everything runs smooth and on time. And then the producer, a lot of times, if things start falling behind, they have to step up because time is money. It's really not. It seems like a cliche, but it's really not.
Right.
In the film business. Like, if you get behind like 2-3 hours, and then you gotta make it up the next day, there's actors you gotta call back. That's crew you gotta call back. So that costs money.
Right.
So basically, you know, throughout the day, like as a producer, you got to really make sure, along with the first AD, that things are staying on schedule, things are staying on track. And then, I mean, of course, like you're overseeing, like, you know, making sure each department has everything they need. I always say like a producer, honest, is like a counselor on set as well, because if there's any issues, like people come to set, they're humans, but they're also extremely skilled at what they do. So there's been times where like, you know, a key crew member comes in and maybe they got some personal things going on in their family, in their life, and you got to kind of like be that counselor, because at the end of the day, the movie still has to get made. You know what I mean? So it's like you dealing with like all of those things throughout the day on a film set. It's always things that happen that's unexpected. You know, things you wasn't anticipating.
Sure.
So you got to put out a lot of fires. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of that as well. Putting out a lot of fires.
How challenging has it been to produce and shoot movies during COVID-19?
It's been extremely challenging. Thankfully, I mean, we're on the other side of it now, but a lot of people lost business. You know, a lot of productions got shut down. I mean, I was working on a film in Minnesota, and pretty much 90% of the cast and crew got hit with COVID. So we had to shut down, you know. So, I mean, that was a challenge. I mean, we got probably about 80% of that movie shot, but now you got to come back like months later.
Right.
And, you know, you got to reassemble the team. So it's like COVID also has, from a producing perspective, it also has increased budgets exponentially, because now you got to hire what they call a health and safety supervisor to pretty much make sure you're following the guidelines, not only for the CDC, but also for the state. And then there's also guidelines within the film industry itself, because you're dealing with unions, you know, and for actors, it's SAG. They call it SAG, SAG, which is the Screen Actors Guild.
Right.
SAG was already kind of strict on how you dealt with their talent, as far as making sure you paid them the proper rate. Even when you pay them, you got to pay into their pension and their health, like all of these things. But now with COVID, it's an extra layer that's added to your budget, because you got to hire that health and safety supervisor. You got to, you know, show them like what's your plan of action for making sure things on set is, you know, as safe as possible for the actors. Another thing too is like when you're working on a set, it's very close knit. Like you're working very close together. So now with this whole COVID thing, you know, being on set where you gotta on a project I worked on like a couple months back, like each department now had to be separated. Like they had to have their own coolers, they had to have their own area where they could stay. So it's like that congregating and that kind of like that unification and that team that you're kind of used to on a film set. Now you're kind of like separated, you know, and only the main actors can take their mask off when they're acting the scene out. And it's different, you know. It's a challenge, because like I said, it's that collaborative process as a filmmaker that, you know, when you got to stand 6 feet apart, you got to be separated, it kind of sucks being on the film set.
And for the tech people wearing the mask all day, I know that's challenging, isn't it? It's hot.
For sure. It's definitely not the same, man. I mean, thankfully, like I said, now, especially in LA, we're in the yellow tier now, so a lot of restrictions are being eased now, and it's kind of a little better, but still, I mean, we're not completely out of the woods yet, so they're still being very cautious, especially when you're dealing with like talent. You know, I mean, talent is super important.
Yeah.
If they go down with COVID, like one of your lead actors, then man, it's kind of like you got to shut down pretty much. So it kind of sucks.
What relaxes you on set when things become stressful?
Sometimes, man, it's not really a chance for, especially when you're a producer, for you to get away. You know, some people gotta like go by themselves and kind of take that moment to get a breather. But when you're on set as a producer, like you really gotta wait till later on to kind of get that relaxed moment. You gotta kind of deal with the issues. That's pretty much honestly what a producer. But as a producer, for me, like I've been, you know, like I said, putting out fires. You know, making sure overall production is moving forward, and there's no hiccups for that day of production. So, I mean, my way to relax is once I'm done for the day, I like to just go off to myself and maybe like watch a movie, or, I mean, I like walking through the mall by myself. And it's kind of like my way of kind of relaxing myself. But to be honest, in my position, I really don't have that luxury to kind of find those moments.
Right. What draws you to a project?
Usually it's the story. Usually, I mean to be honest, I heard I can't he's drawing a blank right now, but he said he's in the business of telling stories.
Mm.
Ron Howard said that, and I mean at the end of the day, it's the story that really draws me. I mean, if I like the project I'm working on down in Tennessee, it's the story. You know, it's like it's a really solid story about this guy that he ends up going to prison. You know what I mean? And he's estranged from his daughter, and now he's out and he's on the box. He can't leave his farm, but yet his daughter's in trouble. So he has to kind of deal with making a choice. Like, does he, you know, break the law by, you know, not going a certain distance because he's on the box, or do he, you know, go to help his daughter? So it's like I love stories where that tell stories, obviously about redemption. You know, stories that that really show like strong relationships. You know, I love stories like that. I love inspirational stories. Like one of my favorite movies is Rudy. You know, I love the movie Rudy.
Yeah.
I love stories like Remember the Titans, which your
Yeah.
face was on the front of that movie. Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
So it's like movies like that that really, really draw me. That stories about coming together, stories about. I love underdog stories. You know, stories where
Yeah.
a person is against all odds are against them, but yet they find a way to overcome
Right.
those obstacles, and then in the end they end up being triumphant. So I love stories like that.
Yeah, definitely. What directors and actors have inspired you?
My favorite director is Steven Spielberg. That guy just one thing I like about Spielberg is he don't make a lot of movies a year, but you know when he puts one out, it's going to be quality.
Yeah.
You know, the way it's shot, the acting. I mean, everything about that movie. It's like he has that brand about him. Like Denzel is my favorite actor,
Okay.
and it's the same with him. It doesn't matter if the movie is trash. Like, you know, Denzel's going to bring it.
Right.
You know, as an actor. So it's like that. So basically, any movie with Denzel or Spielberg,
Yeah.
it's automatic for me. You know what I mean? Like, I
Okay.
know it's going to be a certain level of quality
Yeah.
involved. Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much as far as like actors that draw me. It's going to be the Denzel for sure. Then the director would be Spielberg.
You have a favorite Denzel and a favorite Spielberg movie?
My favorite Spielberg movie would probably have. That's so many. It's a lot, man. Probably Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Okay.
Spielberg. I love The Color Purple. Spielberg directed. I love that movie. Movies with Denzel, I love Training Day only because he stepped out of his element. You know what I mean? He was that villain for the first time. So to see him like bring it in that type of role was absolutely incredible. But I loved him in Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
I mean, he was incredible as Herman Boone.
Right.
The Hurricane.
Man, I was just about to say Hurricane. Yeah, for sure.
Hurricane.
Yeah.
He bought that. Yeah. So it's just that guy's incredible. Spielberg, I love. Ready Player One was incredible as well. I love that movie.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty much the ones I can think of off the top of my head for sure.
Do you have a list of people that you like to work with?
That I like to work with or I have worked with. I mean, to be honest, this film I'm working on now in Tennessee, it's an actor on there named Shuler Hensley.
Okay.
He's a Tony Award winner. He won the Tony for a Broadway play called Oklahoma.
Yeah.
That also had actually a good friend of his, Hugh Jackman, was in it as well. And Shuler ended up winning the Tony for that. I really like working with him. He's an extremely talented actor, but he's really, really a really nice person. And he's really down to earth. So to be honest, like any extremely talented person I can work with that's approachable, that's just a nice person, that doesn't have that ego.
Right.
And I have worked with something like that they're extremely talented, they are very well known, but as a human being, they're terrible. They treat people bad. They got this mentality. I don't know what happened. They just kind of just treat people like crap, and for me, that's a huge turnoff because I'm all about being a very humble person as much as possible.
Right.
Even in the position that I'm in, where I'm usually everybody's boss, I still try to remain humble and not try to act like I'm here and they're here.
Right.
You know, even there is a hierarchy, obviously.
Sure.
I don't try to ever make anybody feel like I'm a taskmaster.
Right.
You know, like I'm some guy that's just pretty much just not a very nice person. You know,
Yeah.
and I think we need more of that in the world today, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. You know, tell us about some of your film projects.
My first project I worked on, it was a movie that was called Better Criminal. It was really like one of my first feature films I worked on. It had a solid cast. It had Emilio Rivera was in it. He's in the Sons of Anarchy, the Mayans. James Hong, legendary actor, was in it as well.
Yeah.
Tom Sizemore was in it. A lot of big names. That's one that I worked on. Just worked on the one I talked about that's in Minnesota, which we had to shut down.
Right.
That was a hockey drama I worked on that had Jack Kessie. He's currently in that new movie with Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
Without Remorse.
Right.
Jack Kessie's in that. A couple other projects I worked on. There's so many. I just worked on a horror film in Vegas. They had Dean Cain. They had Richard Greco, Robert Davi, whom I love from the Goonies.
Yeah.
He's one of the Fratelli brothers. So,
right.
Which I know you got a couple questions to ask me later on about that. But yeah, that's a few of the projects I worked on.
Yeah.
And later on, you know, once you ask me that question, I will kind of be able to direct people where they can kind of see a full list of my projects. For sure.
Yeah, definitely. You have, besides what you're doing right now in Tennessee, you have any other upcoming projects you can talk about?
Yeah, I got a feature film. I won't put out too much publicly right now that I'm currently, me and my writing partner, Bella Don, we're currently making some revisions to the script. The script's done. We're just kind of making some final revisions to it. And in the fall, in September, it's one that I'll be directing. It'll be my first big feature film that I've directed since I've been here.
Oh, wow.
So that'll be in September. So we're excited about that. I won't, like I said, I won't give out too much yet. But
I'm proud of you, man. That's
yeah.
awesome.
So we'll be talking more about that. So
yeah,
I'm excited, man. It's gonna be good. I'll be able to bring on some people that I feel like there'll be some solid actors in it.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. What is it like to live in LA?
LA is cool, man. I mean, I guess a lot of people got this vision of LA. I don't know if it comes from this thing they see on TV or what, but I mean, it's not all the glamour and the hype, you know what I mean, that people try to make it out to be.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, but it's cool out here, man. I've been here, like I said, 6 years. I came out here from Delaware, and I really can't complain. I feel like this is where God wants me.
Yeah.
Some people try to get me to move, but it's like I can't move until God tells me to move. I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be planted. So,
what part of LA?
I'm in like the Studio City area, which is more in the valley.
Okay.
Yeah, in the San Fernando Valley. So, yeah, but I love it, man. I mean, it's been a challenge, you know. I mean, leaving your family 3,000 miles away, you're the only one,
right?
Pretty much here, you know. And thankfully, through like my church family and through connections I've made in the industry, I've been able to kind of meet people and have that family, have that community here. But it's still a challenge when you're that far away from your immediate family, for sure.
Who have you met in the industry that you were just starstruck? You were like, wow. Like when you met that one person, you was just, man, like, whoa. Yeah,
like 3 years ago, I was at the Pan-African Film Festival, and a short film that I produced called Pharaoh the Cleaner was an official selection in this festival. So I was standing on the sidewalk, and you know how usually at these festivals they have the step and repeat up where you take photos and they got the red carpet laid out. And I was just standing on the sidewalk with my friend Betty, and she kind of like was very coy about it. She was like, look to your left, look to your left. And I looked to my left, man, and Lou Gossett Jr. was walking right towards me.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, like this is like somebody you grew up watching on TV, you know, like Lou Gossett's an Oscar-winning actor. I mean, strong black actor, and
Right.
just seeing him, like, he was like literally walking right towards me,
Yeah.
and he stopped and we chatted for like a few minutes, and I was like, man, you mind if I got a photo with you? He
Right.
was like, sure. He was like super, and that's what I like. He was like super
Yeah.
cool, just chatting with me, and he let me get a photo with him. And like, as soon as I got my photo, I guess everybody else noticed him, and they like swarmed him, So it was like just that moment
Yeah.
that I had with him before he got swarmed was like, I was just like in awe. I was like one of those moments where I was very numb, like, wow,
Yeah.
I can't believe that just happened. So
Wow.
yeah, that was an amazing experience, man.
A couple more questions for you. You mentioned earlier that Denzel was your favorite actor and Steven Spielberg is your favorite director.
Yes.
What do you specifically like about those two? And then when it comes to actresses, who's your favorite actress?
Yeah, what I like about Spielberg, as I kind of alluded to earlier, is the fact that he doesn't make a lot of movies in a year, but when he makes one, it's going to be quality. And another thing I like about Spielberg, he has like that, I call it like that childlike magical eye for things.
Yeah.
Even when he worked on the Goonies, like a lot of those like adventurous scene ideas and things in the Goonies was his idea.
Yeah.
He has like this imagination that's so incredible that it makes the movie like feel like adventurous and fun and just exciting, and just the way his shooting style, like his visuals and his eye for the frame, and just the way he like just directs is just like so incredible. And then the same with Denzel, like from the aspect of acting, it's like Denzel is like, it's like the subtle things he does as an actor, It's like it can be a facial expression. It's like he has what I call like a commanding screen presence.
Right.
Like every scene is like easy, like you can feel Denzel on that scene. You know what I mean? Even that scene in the hurricane when he told him what his name meant, Reuben.
Right.
It means behold the sun. And it's like just when he began to cry in that scene, and like it just like you feel it in that scene in Glory where he got beat at the whipping post.
Right.
And like the exact moment that the camera like was like panning into him.
Yeah.
It's like that tear fell, that one tear.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like moments like that really, really make you like feel him as an actor. He kind of draws you in.
Yeah, definitely.
To the emotion and the power of that scene. So yeah, that's incredible, man. I love that type of movie magic is what I call it, where like you leave a scene or you leave a movie just feeling like, wow, that was an incredible experience.
What about actress?
Favorite actresses? Wow, man, there's so many. I love who could I say? Angela Bassett's incredible. I think she's an incredible actress. I love my favorite though, who's actually my celebrity crush, is Meryl Streep. I love Meryl Streep. Like she brings her A game in like every single role. You know what I mean? So I love Meryl Streep. I mean, there's so many actresses.
Yeah, so many. Many.
Like I love Octavia Spencer. I love Viola Davis.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah.
What are some of your favorite movies?
My favorite movie is The Shawshank Redemption.
Classic.
Yeah, that's
classic.
my favorite. Like probably number one, to be honest. And I mean, I can watch that movie like any time of the day or anytime it's on. I can just watch it. And I mean, it's another one of those movies where it's the story. I love stories where the underdog, which was Andy Dufresne in this movie, where we obviously know he was framed for something we didn't do.
Yeah.
So it's like it leaves you in that suspense, like, I want to know how he's gonna like bring retribution in this situation. Like the warden was like this evil guy that was so self-righteous. He even had his scripture on the wall about judgment. So it's like I love in movies where the antagonist gets exactly what they deserve.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I was reading. That's one reason why Denzel actually played the role of Alonzo in Training Day, is because of the whole arc of his character. He didn't get away with being that evil person.
Yeah.
He got his in the end. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly.
I love movies like that. The Shawshank Redemption. I love the fact that he did end up kind of like not from the justice system, but in his own way, he got justice. You know what I mean? He got retribution. He got redemption. And the bad guy, which was the warden, he ended up getting exactly what he deserved for not only of his treatment of Andy, but also of all the other prisoners that was there. So, yeah, those type of stories,
classic,
I love. I love those
movie.
type of movies, man. Yeah.
If someone is interested in becoming a thespian, what are some nuggets that you can give them?
Yeah, usually a lot of people kind of reach out to me about becoming an actor, becoming a performer, and I pretty much tell them the same thing. I mean, if they're really serious about it as a career and not just a hobby or something they think is just a good idea. I mean, I've run across where a lot of people, they kind of like, they see the glamour of it, but they don't know the price that needs to be paid in order to be an actor or be a performer. I mean, it's a price. I mean, I usually can't put it any other way for people. And I usually tell people, like, in every single city, every single town, they got a local theater. You know, like, it don't matter if you're from the boondocks, they got some type of like theater, even if it's at a high school or middle school or something. So I usually tell people, like, first thing you should do is just get involved in anything dealing with performing. You know, find your local theater and just try to like get involved. Even if you got to volunteer to be like a stagehand to start out, and start getting around other actors and start learning the craft. Not the good idea of being an actor, but start really, really learning the craft of what it takes to be a performer. I mean, every major star you see is very rare that they just got natural raw talent. They've been trained, you know, to be an actor. You know, it's not something they just had a great idea about. They had the passion, but they also put the work in behind the passion.
Absolutely.
So that's one thing, you know, get involved with a local theater. Then the other thing I suggest as well is you can even go on Craigslist or anywhere and find out where they're shooting like student films, you know, or short films. And then what you do is, even if you got to work for like 2 or 3 days for free, you do that as an actor so you can build what they call your demo reel. And your demo reel is usually like a 2-minute video kind of highlighting or showcasing you as an actor in like maybe 2 or 3 scenes. And that's what you use to segue into another question you had. You use your demo reel along with your experience you built up. This is not like an overnight thing. This is something you might have to do for like a year or two to build up your resume, to build up your film credits. Then you take that whole package and you submit that to agents and managers that are looking for new talent. And they're going to base it on your demo reel and your body of work that you had. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said, to start out, you might have to build that body of work by working on a project for way less or even for free. To start out. And then once you get that agent or manager, then they start getting paid work.
Now, how do you find the agent and manager? You just kind of Google it, or how do you find that?
Yeah, these days, I mean, Google is your best friend for anything. Even if you want to learn, if you really don't have the luxury, especially during the pandemic, where you can actually go into a physical room, you can just literally go online. They got online classes you can take, workshops for actors, and all of that. I mean, some of them, a lot of them are free on YouTube. You can literally just go on YouTube and find it. As far as agents and managers, to answer your question, yeah, just Google it. You look up like agents and managers usually looking for new talent. You know what I mean? And to be honest, they're going to want to see some body of work though. That's the reason why I said you take those steps in the beginning, you build that repertoire, you build that resume. From the jump, it's going to be easier for you once you really start like pursuing an agent or manager. Because if you don't really have anything to show, it's going to be kind of hard for them to determine your range as a performer. Do you really have the talent? You know what I mean? These are all things that an agent, a professional agent for a manager is going to ask for, you know? So, yeah.
All right, we're going to come to this part of the interview as just a couple rapid questions, and you just answer to the best of your capability, man. Tacos or burgers?
Burgers.
Burgers, okay. De Niro or Pacino?
Pacino all day, man.
Pacino, okay. Comedy or thriller?
Thriller.
Thriller. Why?
I love movies. I'm actually watching The Transporter right now. I'm on the third one right now, so I love movies that's full of action, fighting,
Yeah.
suspense. Yeah, those are the Bourne movies. I love them kind of movies.
Right.
Yeah.
Horror film or action?
Action, obviously. Yep.
Football or basketball?
I'm a football fan for sure.
All right. Now, you in LA, so be careful how you answer this. LeBron or MJ?
MJ, baby.
MJ? Okay.
MJ, man.
I'm LeBron, man. Come on.
Yeah, I'm a huge LeBron fan too.
Yeah.
But, in the scope of things, man, MJ was just that dude, man.
Like MJ, I got you. Man, it's been a privilege and an honor. I definitely thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to the audience. Tell people how they can find more and more of your film projects.
Yeah, usually you can just go right on IMDb, Internet Movie Database, and literally just type in my name, Travis Brown, and you'll see my photo on there behind a film camera. I think I got my Delaware shirt on. You just click on that link, just go to all my filmography, just click on that, and it'll pull up a list of all the projects I produced, direct, wrote, and even had some acting credits in. My website as well, which is travisbrownofficial.com. You can go to my website, and all my information is also right on there. Have all my partners, my business partner and good friend is Bella Dontine. We write together, etc. So it'll have all our information right on my website for sure.
All right, man. We'll definitely have that on the screen so people can check it out. And Travis, I'm proud of you, man. It's just amazing to see how far you've come, but also your passion, man. So I just respect everything that you're doing and keep it up.
For sure, man. Thank you again for having me on Double E TV.
Yeah, man.
It's been a privilege, man, and blessings to you, brother. For sure.
Yeah, same to you, man. Hey, now when you do that feature film in September, you need a little soundtrack help. Just let me know, man.
Oh, for sure, man. I got you, my brother. Thank you, man.
All right, man. Love you, man.
All right, love you too, brother.
All right, bless. We want to thank you for tuning in to today's program. Be sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell for all things pertaining to the Stage is Mine podcast. Until next time, take care.
Go for broke, give everything, better yet, give your all. They don't want to see you win, nevertheless, show evolve. Want to see my demise, you can be in for a surprise, cause the sun ain't about to set.